Hello everyone, welcome back to SJ's classes. We'll continue reading Sophocles' Antigone today. But before we move to the second part, let me just help you recollect the events that we confronted when we read the first part. So at the very outset, we met two characters, that is Ismene and Antigone. They are both the daughters of the late king Oedipus. And Ismene, she wants to communicate some sort of uh, a news to Antigone wants to communicate the latest proclamation that was made by King Creon to Ismene. And we understand that King Creon has forbidden any sort of burial for Polynices. As he fought against the city of Thebes, he was denied of any sort of mourning or any sort of honorable burial from their side. Ismene, she is afraid. She is afraid to go against the king. She is afraid to disobey the king. We also find that she is very weak as a person, as when her character is taken into consideration. She says, "We are women. It's not for us to fight against men." So these this statement declared by Ismene tells us more about the character. It's also Ismene who narrates the earlier events, like the death of their brothers Eteocles and Polynices, about the war, slight accounts of the war. So it's Ismene who gives us uh, details regarding the earlier events. Antigone is so angry that she says to Ismene that you don't have to help me. I won't take help from you anymore. Uh, and Ismene, she says you are bound to fail. Ismene tells Antigone that you are bound to fail. You'll not be able to come out successful in this particular deed. And Antigone is so obstinate, she is so determined that in spite of all what Ismene says, Antigone decides to go ahead with her plan. And this is what we witnessed in the prologue part. Then we read the parados, which is the first song sung by the chorus as they march into the stage. And chorus is formed by the Theban elders, the elders in the city of Thebes. And it is from the parados that we get more details regarding the war between Argos, led by Polynices, and Thebes, led by Eteocles. We understand that both the brothers, Polynices and Eteocles, they slay each other, and that is why why we call them as both murderers, and we say that they have been murdered. And after the paradox, King Creon enters. He talks about his policy. He says, "No man who is his country's enemy shall call himself my friend." So he clarifies what his policy, what his concept is regarding the events that have happened of late. And therefore, to keep up his policy, he says he has made a proclamation, and this proclamation concerns the sons of Oedipus, Polynices, and Eteocles. One would be buried honorably, but the other, Polynices, he will not be mourned by anyone. It's forbidden. He is to be left unburied, left to be eaten by dogs and vultures. So this is the fate. This is what the proclamation is all about. The proclamation made by King Creon. And that is when a sentry, a messenger, comes in. He says that someone has buried the body. So King Creon had earlier said that if anybody violates this particular proclamation, then that person must be stoned by death. That is what Antigone tells Ismene. That was the punishment, or that is the punishment which Creon has decided for the person who violates or disobeys him. As of now, somebody has buried him, and Creon is really angry. Creon says that tells to the sentry that if you don't find the person who has done this act, if you don't find the perpetrator, you will be the one who will be tortured and tormented. So the sentry, he is warned, he is he would have to account for whatever that has happened, and therefore he will have to face his death if he does not find who has committed this act. And the sentry, once he is free, he decides not to come back to the palace. He tries to run away. That is where we uh, wound up the previous session. Now let's continue reading. This is the first stacimen. Please bear these technical terminologies in your mind. These are connected with the Greek theatre, the Greek tragedy. The first is prologue, then comes parados, and now we read stacimen 1, which is stacimen is a song by the chorus. Wonders are many on earth, and the greatest of these is man, who rides the ocean and takes his way through the deeps, through the wind-swept valleys of perilous seas. Perilous means something which is fraught, filled with danger. That surge and sway, he is master of ageless earth, to his own will bending the immortal mother of gods by the swear of his brow, as year succeeds to year with toil unending of mule and plough. Now, once I read this testament, after reading it, I will give you a picture of what it actually is. Let's read. He is Lord of all things, living, birds of the air, beasts of the field, all creatures of sea and land. He taketh cunning to capture and ensnare with sleight of hand, hunting the savage beast from the upland rocks, taming the mountain monarch in his fair, teaching the wild horse and the roaming ox his yoke to bear. The use of language, the wind swift motion of brain, he learned, found out the laws of living together in cities, building him shelter against the rain and wintry weather. Wintry weather means weather which is quite typical of winter season. There is nothing beyond his power. His subtlety meeteth all chance, all danger conquered. For every ill he hath found its remedy, save only death. O wondrous subtlety of man, that draws to good or evil ways! Great honour is given and power to him to upholdeth his country's laws, and the justice of heaven. But he that too rashly daring walks in sin, in solitary pride to his life's end, at door of mine shall never enter in to call me a friend. So this is the first testament. As I said earlier, this is the first testament. Testament is nothing but a song by the chorus. And this first testament is often referred to as the Ode to Man, because this entire chorus song is addressed to man. It describes the various achievements of man. What has he gained through his various achievements? These are what are narrated by the chorus. So also remember that this ode to man is one of the popular ode in Greek tragedy. And the chorus says that a man has built vessels in which he travels by sea. He has subdued the earth by means of farming. He plows turn the earth year by year. He has learned to hunt for his food by catching birds, fish, and animals. He has been able to tame the wild horse and the tireless mountain bull by means of his intelligence. So all these are achievements, the achievements of man. And then the chorus says that that man is both inventive and imaginative. Uh, the chorus says that he has been able to do many things. He has got sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so chorus says that man has many achievements to his credit. He has done so many things. He was able to travel by land and water. He was able to, subdue all the animals on this planet. He was able to tame even the wild animals. But unfortunately, he could not conquer death. And this particular ode is highly musical. It's rich with images from agriculture, sailing, fishing, and hunting. And perhaps that this particular ode is the only respite that the audience have. And from now onwards, we are going to confront tragedy. Now, things are going to take a turn. So let's continue with the play. Seeing some persons approach from a distance, O gods, a wonder to see. Surely it cannot be. It is no other Antigone, unhappy maid, unhappy Oedipus' daughter. It is she they bring. So it's chorus who say that now people are bringing, the watchmen, they are bringing sentry to us. And chorus says, can she have rashly disobeyed the order of our king? So is it because Antigone buried Polonius' body that they are bringing her to King Creon? Enter the sentry, bringing Antigone guarded by two more soldiers. Sentry, we have got her. Here is the woman that did the deed. We found her in the act of burying him. Where is the king? Now, this question is asked to the chorus, and this is how the chorus was brought into the action, and that is why we say that chorus was an integral part or inevitable part of Greek tragedy. So we have the sentry conversing with the chorus, and he asks them, where is the king? We have found the person who buried Polonius' body. Chorus, he is just coming out of the palace now. Creon, what is this? What am I just in time to see? Sentry, my lord, very dangerous thing. Second thoughts may prove us liars. Not long since I swore I wouldn't trust myself again to face your threats. You gave me a drubbing the first time. Drubbing means punishment. So we have the same sentry who communicated the news of the burial to Creon in the first part. So he says that, you gave me a drubbing the very first time I came here. You gave me a punishment, or you said that you will punish me. But there is no pleasure like an unexpected pleasure, not by a long way, and so I have come again. So this is the reason why the sentry has returned. What is the reason? I have brought this lady who has been caught in the act of setting that grave in order. So this is that lady who have disobeyed your proclamation, your order, who has gone against your wish. And no casting lots for it this time. The prize is mine and no one else's. So take her, judge and convict her. I am free, I hope, and quit of the horrible business. So the sentry says, I hope I am relieved of the charge. You can take her, you can judge her, and please let me go. Creon, how did you find her? Where have you brought her from? Sentry, she was burying the man with her own hands, and that is the truth. So they have seen her setting the burial in order. Creon, are you in your senses? Do you know what you are saying? So Creon cannot believe that it is Antigone who has disobeyed him. And this particular statement communicates that particular idea. Are you in your senses? This is what Creon asks of the sentry. Are you in your senses? Do you know what you are saying? Sentry, I saw her myself, burying the body of the man whom you said not to bury. Don't I speak plain? So this is the response that sentry gives. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw her setting the grave, setting the burial in order. Don't I speak plain? Creon, how did she come to be seen and taken in the act? Sentry, it was this way. After I got back to the place, with all your threats and curses ringing in my ears, we swept off all the earth that covered the body and left it a sodden naked corpse again. Sodden naked means completely naked. Then sat upon the hill on the windward side, keeping clear of the stench of him as far as we could, all of us keeping each other up to the mark, with pretty sharp speaking, not to be caught napping this time. So earlier, it's because they dozed off that they could not spot who did the deed. and now they were keeping eyes on each other as well. They wanted to see if someone among them was the person who actually did that deed earlier. So they were keeping pretty sharp sight on each other as well. So this went on some hours till the flaming sun was high in the top of the sky and the heat was blazing. Suddenly, a storm of dust, like a plague from heaven, swept over the ground, stripping the trees stark bare, filling the sky. You had to shut your eyes to stand against it. So they kept watch for a long time, and then there was this heavy storm, and it was a storm of dust. So they had to shut their eyes to stand against it. When at last it stopped, there was the girl, screaming like an angry bird when it finds its nest left empty and little ones gone. So, this is the comparison that he draws, the analogy that he draws. When Antigone sees the sight, she screamed like an angry bird that found that its nest is empty. Just like that, she screamed, seeing the body naked, crying and cursing the ones that had done it. Then she picks up the dry earth in her hands, and pouring out of a fine bronze urn she has brought, she makes her offering 3 times to the dead. So once Antigone sees that somebody has undid the burial that she gave to Polyneices, she does the burial act again. She throws the sand that she had brought in an urn 3 times, and she completes the burial process. Soon as we saw it, down we came and caught her. So the sentry narrates how they caught Antigone in the act. She wasn't at all frightened, and so we charged her with what she had done before and this. She admitted it. I'm glad to say, though sorry too in a way. It's good to save your own skin, but a pity to have to see another get into trouble, whom you have no grudge against. So the sentry has no ill feelings against Antigone, but since Creon had warned the sentry that you will be tortured and tormented if you don't bring the perpetrator to me, the sentry had to do it. He has no ill feelings, grudges against Antigone, but he had to do his duty. He is happy that he is free, that he will not be punished, because it was not him who did the act. So he's free that King Creon will now let him go. No, but he's also sad that someone else is getting into trouble. However, I can't say I have ever valued anyone else's life more than my own. That is the honest truth. So the sentry, he's very honest. He says that I haven't valued anyone else's life more than my own. It's my life that I value the most. So it's okay even if she gets into trouble. Creon to Antigone. Well, what do you say? You hiding your head there? Do you admit or do you deny the deed? Antigone. I do admit. I do not deny it. Creon to the sentry. You may go. You are discharged from the blame. And the sentry exits. Now tell me, in as few words as you can, did you know the order forbidding such an act? So now Creon is questioning Antigone. He asked, do you know that I had proclaimed not to give burial to Polyneices? Antigone. I knew it naturally. It was plain enough. Creon. And yet you dare to contravene it. Contravene means to go against it. Antigone. Yes. That order did not come from God. Justice that dwells with the gods below knows no such law. I did not think your edicts strong enough to overrule the unwritten, unalterable laws. Edicts means an authoritative proclamation of God and heaven, you being only a man. They are not of yesterday or today, but everlasting, though where they came from, none of us can tell. So again, we have that conflict between divine law and man-made law. So, as I said in the previous session, the clash between divine laws and man made laws is one of the themes of the play. And This is one such place where you find this clash or conflict happening between man-made law and divine law. Antigone is favor of the divine law, and she calls them the unwritten, unalterable law. And she says that these laws are not of yesterday or today; they are everlasting. And though we cannot tell from where they came, these are everlasting, and this is what need to follow. Guilty of their transgression before God I cannot be, for any man on earth. I knew that I should have to die, of course, with or without your order. If it be soon, so much the better. Living in daily torment as I do, who would not be glad to die? This punishment will not be any pain. Only if I had let my mother's son lie there unburied, then I could not have borne it. So for Antigone, letting Polynices be there unburied, unwept, unmourned is probably the greatest punishment. Now she has done her part. She has fulfilled her responsibility and she is happy about that. And she doesn't mind if she has to die, she doesn't mind even that. This I can bear. Does that seem foolish to you? Or is it you that are foolish to judge me so? So we find that Antigone is trying to provoke Creon by stating that whatever she has done is honorable. Chorus. She shows her father's stubborn spirit. Foolish not to give way when everything is against her. So chorus, the body of chorus is also acts as the commentator of the play. So we have a comment being made by the chorus. She shows her father's stubborn spirit. She shows Oedipus' stubborn spirit. And the chorus remarks that she is foolish not to give way when everything's against her. She should actually give up. Crayon. Ah, but you will see. The over-obstinate spirit is soonest broken, as the strongest iron will snap if over-tempered in the fire to brittleness. A little halter. Halter means a rope that is used to control a horse. A little halter is enough to break the wildest horse. So we have a lot of analogies coming. Crayon says that the strongest of iron will snap when it is over tempered using fire. That a little rope is enough to control a wild horse. So many analogies being made there by Crayon. All these are pointed at Antigone. Proud thoughts do not sit well upon subordinates. This girl's proud spirit was first in evidence when she broke the law. And now, to add insult to her injury, she gloats over her deed. Gloats over her deed means she takes satisfaction in whatever that she has done. But as I live, she shall not flout my orders with impunity. So Crayon says, when I am alive, she shall not flout. Flout means to disobey or to disregard. Flout my orders with impunity. Impunity means exemption from punishment. It shows that Creon is going to punish Antigone for her act, the act of burying Polynices. My sister's child. So, as you are aware of, Creon is Yocasta's brother, and Yocasta is the mother to Antigone. So that is where Creon calls her my sister's child. Ay, were she even nearer, nearest and dearest, she should not escape full punishment. She, and her sister too, her partner, doubtless in this burying. So Creon presumes that Ismene has actually partnered with Antigone to commit this act. So both of them will be punished. Let her be fetched. Creon is talking about Ismene. Let her be fetched. She was in the house just now. I saw her hardly in her right mind either. So even Ismene seemed to be very much disturbed, and Crayon now understands it that it's because they were plotting to bury Polonius' body and go against the state as well as Crayon that Ismene seemed to be very much disturbed. I saw her hardly in her right mind either. Often the thoughts of those who plan dark deeds betray themselves before the deed is done. So her appearance, the kind of appearance that Ismini had, it actually communicated what was happening to Creon. The criminal who being caught still tries to make a fair excuse is damned indeed. So if you try to justify your act, and according to Crayon, it is a criminal act. So if you try to justify your act, that person is damned indeed. Antigone. Now you have caught. Will you do more than kill me? So that is the thing. That is the perhaps only the ultimate thing that you can do to me. You can kill me, and I'm happy about that. I don't mind being killed because I have fulfilled my responsibility to my brother. Crayon. No, nothing more. That is all I could wish. Antigone. Why then delay? There is nothing that you can say that I should wish to hear, as nothing I say can weigh with you. I have given my brother burial. What greater honor could I wish? All these would say that what I did was honorable. But fear locks up their lips. To speak and act just as he likes is a king's prerogative. Prerogative means a right that is exclusively reserved for someone. And in this case, King Crayon. So he has the right to speak and act just like he wants, and that is your prerogative. But don't be under the misimpression that everyone thinks like you. There are people who believe that what I done is honorable, but their fear locks up their lips. They are afraid to say that to you. Crayon, you are wrong. None of my subjects thinks as you do. So Crayon says that no, it's not like that. None of my subjects thinks the way you do. Antigone, yes sir, they do, but dare not tell you so. Crayon, and you are not only alone but unashamed. Antigone, there is no shame in honoring my brother. Crayon, was not his enemy who died with him your brother? Antigone, yet both were brothers, both of the same parents. Crayon, you honor one and so insult the other. Antigone, he that is dead will not accuse me of that. Crayon, he will if you honor him no more than the traitor. So we have a verbal exchanges being made there by Antigone and Crayon. When Crayon makes a statement, and Antigone is strong enough, bold enough to give a counter statement. Antigone, it was not a slave but his brother that died with him. Crayon, attacking his country while the other defended it. Antigone, even so, we have a duty to the dead. Crayon, not to give equal honor to good and bad. Antigone, who knows? In the country of the dead, that may be the law. Crayon, an enemy can't be a friend, even when dead. Antigone, my way is to share my love, not share my hate. Crayon, go then and share your love among the dead. We will have no woman's law here while I live. So we find that to every statement, to every argument, to every blame that Crayon charges on or makes upon Antigone, Antigone has a response. And as readers, we find that whatever she says is it indeed justifies her act. And that is when Ismene enters from the palace. Chorus. Here comes Ismene, weeping in sisterly sorrow, a darkened brow, flushed face, and the fair cheek marred with flooding rain. So the chorus, they not only comment upon whatever that is happening on the stage, but they also indicate or give instructions to the audience as to what is about to happen. So this is a point where we understand that particular responsibility of chorus. The chorus says, here comes Ismene. So we understand that it's the character of Ismene that has come to the stage, and she is weeping. She is in sisterly sorrow. She has a darkened brow, which means that she is very sad. She has a flushed face and the fair cheek marred with flooding rain, which means that she is weeping. Crayon, you crawling viper. This is how Crayon addresses Ismene. You crawling viper, lurking in my house to suck my blood. Two traitors unbeknown. Unbeknown means existing without the knowledge. So Crayon is too angry that two traitors were there at the very palace in his own house, plotting against my throne. Do you admit to a share in this burying or deny all knowledge? So this particular conversation is between Creon and Ismene. Creon asks, do you admit that you partnered with Antigone to do this particular deed? Ismene, I did it. Yes, if she will let me, so I am as much to blame as she is. So Ismene is ready to take the charge, but she knows that she denied Antigone's offer. She was weak. She was afraid to disobey King Creon, that she kept herself away from it. But as of now, Ismene wants to admit it. Admit that she also partnered with Antigone. But Antigone says, no, that is not just. You would not lend a hand, and I refused your help in what I did. Ismene, but I am not ashamed to stand beside you now in your hour of trial. Antigone, whose was the deed? Death and the dead are witness. I love no friend whose love is only in words. So this is how Antigone evaluates her help. She actually rejects her help by saying that I love no friend whose love is only words. So I don't want your words for support here. I don't want your sympathy here. You should have helped me when I went to do the act, but you did not help me then. You stayed away. You rejected my offer. So now I don't need your words of support. Ismini, oh sister, sister, let me share your death. Share in the tribute of honor to him that is dead. Antigone, you shall not die with me. You shall not claim that which you would not touch. One death is enough. Ismene, how can I bear to live if you must die? Antigone, ask Creon, is not he the one you care for? Ismene, you do yourself no good to taunt me so. So please don't tease me. Please don't taunt me. Make fun of me at this point. Antigone, indeed, no, even my jests are bitter pains. So even the humorous remarks that Antigone make at this particular point, they cause pain to Ismene. Ismene, but how? Or tell me, how can I still help you? Antigone, help yourself. I shall not stand in your way. Ismene, for pity, Antigone, can I not die with you? Antigone, you chose. Life was your choice when mine was death. Ismene, although I warned you that it would be so. Antigone, your way seemed right to some, to others mine. Ismene, but now both in the wrong and both contempt. So we severe exchanges happening initially between Creon and Antigone, later between Creon and Ismene, and now between Antigone and Ismene. So Antigone doesn't want Ismene's support. She doesn't want her to stand with Antigone, and as of now, she is rejecting her help. Antigone, no, no, you live. My heart was long since dead, so it was right for me to help the dead. Now Creon interrupts, he says, I do believe the creatures both are mad. One lately crazed, the other from her birth. So the one lately crazed, the person who has become mad recently is Ismene, and the person who is mad right from her birth is Antigone. Creon says, I think both these women are mad. Ismene, is it not likely, sir? The strongest mind cannot but break under misfortune's blows. Creon, yours did, when you threw in your lot with hers. Ismene, how could I wish to live without my sister? So Ismene understands the fact that it's only Antigone that is left of her family. Oedipus died, Jocasta committed suicide, Polonius and Eteocles, they killed each other. Now Antigone has been destined to die, to death by Creon. So how could I wish to live without my sister? Creon, you have no sister. Count her dead already. Ismene, you could not take her, kill your own son's bride. So it is at this point that we understand that Antigone is the future bride of Creon's son. Creon's son is Haman, and Haman is supposed to marry Antigone. So Ismene cracks that particular news, that information for us. You could not take her, Kill your own son's bride? Crayon. Oh, there are other fields for him to plow. So look at the sarcastic remark that he makes. There are other fields for him to plow. There are other women to marry. Ismene. No truer troth was ever made than theirs. Troth means a solemn pledge, a mutual promise to marry. So no truer troth was ever made than theirs. Crayon. No son of mine shall wed so vile a creature. So my son will not marry an evil creature like Antigone. Antigone. Oh Haman, can your father spite you so? Crayon. You and your Parama. Parama means lover. I hate you both. Chorus. Sir, would you take her from your own son's arms? Crayon. Not I, but death shall take her. Chorus. Be it so. Her death, it seems, is certain. Crayon. Certain it is. No more delay. Take them and keep them with the proper place for women. None so brave as not to look for some way of escape when they see life stand face to face with death, and the women are taken away. So this is where we will wind up for the day. So the person who committed the deed of burying Polynesius has been found out. It's none other than Antigone. We read or we went through the verbal exchanges between Antigone and Creon. Then it was between Creon and Ismene, and finally between Antigone and Ismene. So it has been decided. Creon has decided that she will be put to death, even if his son was to marry her. It has been decided that Antigone will be killed. So thank you so much for being with me here today.